All right, welcome back to Soul Spark Tarot. Soul Spark Tarot. And I'm your host, Mr. Anu. Mr. Anu. These cards wants to fall out. And I wanted to do a love reading, and guess what? Love and temperance has fallen out. We're just going to leave those out. Lover's card, man. Temperance card. Lover's card for me is always exactly what you see here in temperance. Most people in temperance see two things, but there's three things. But if there's three things, then there's four. So, first things first, let's start off with one. We got one of these potion bottles over here. Then we got one of these potion bottles over there. Two different potion bottles. But then, when you're talking about it as a liquid, it goes into this bigger potion bottle called a cauldron. So I got this cup, and I put it into a bigger cup called a pitcher. And so now I got this stuff in a new space, and you might say, okay, that's it. But you forget the power behind it all, the person behind the scene. No head needed. We just need to know that there's something or someone behind the scenes. The things that we're making inside, the things that we're changing about, we're being brewed with, these things are of a different trajectory. We're of somebody else's will. And this is the idea of the previous you. All of the versions of you from the moment you became conscious to the time when you were unconscious, even to the point to where you were even unborn. These things are all a part of you. And they all make up this version of you. Not a version of you, just the idea of you. So we all know this is Sally in the back. The idea is we don't need to see all parts of Sally to know it's Sally. You don't need to see all parts of yourself to know that you're cooking up new parts for yourself. And this is where this card comes in, the aspect of this too. The self that's cooked up can be a version of you, and then the self that's cooked up could be a counterpart to you. A counterpart because it's just a side-by-side thing, counter. But the idea is this is one kind of body, this is this kind of body, but it's the same thing. Again, Sally is built through temperance. Jack is built through temperance. And because of that, this relationship is built through temperance. But what is the relationship? The background. It's built upon who are you? Who are these people? What is doing the tempering? What are your intentions? Are you cooking up stuff with love? Or are you mad as fuck and you're angry? These are the things that you got to realize, these sensations. And once you can see them more so with yourself, you'll be able to call on a person who sees them within themselves too. But I think that's why we're here, because I think that's what you already got going on. I think you've been doing this. I think you've been doing this. And you know what? I think you got love on the way, some kind of way. Maybe it's just the love of yourself, and you gotta value and appreciate that like it's a whole person coming in, because that'll attract the space. It'll attract to the space. A first come first serve kind of thing, and that's the idea about leaving more spaces. Because if people don't want to continue to go through these, not hurdles, but these layers. You call them a hurdle if you want to, but a hurdle implies a single plane. Layers implies different. And that's the key. You're just trying to see the differences between you and me, but then guess what? I'm still I, and I'm still all of me, all of I, all of you, all of us. Lots of different ways to say the same thing. So have the strength to see the dark sides of you Just like Sally had the strength to see the dark side of Jack's Christmas, she literally saw the vision. Fire and burning, and death. She saw it. Jack saw her weirdness. Like, nigga, did you just, like, give me a bottle and skedaddle? Did you jump out a motherfucking window? Like, are you poisoning the doc? What the fuck is going on with you? But they saw past it. They saw past it. And guess what? They ended up being lovers, perfect fit for one another. So, temper yourself so you can see more of your people around you. Temper yourself so you can see more love for your lover. Temper yourself by creating a new space. Both of those bottles are a part of something way bigger and way better. That little cup of water and that little cup of, let's say, vegetable broth, that water and that broth come together with the vegetables and, the chicken and the noodles, and now we're in something bigger and greater called chicken noodle soup. We're not water and we're not broth. We're something bigger, we're something better, we're something grander, we're something more detailed, we're something more expansive, we're something that has a higher value attached to it. Comprehension, negotiation, sacrifice. Those things that I wouldn't do if I was by myself. Those things that I value now because I'm not by myself. Temperance. Anxiety. Justice upon anxieties. Taking action with the justice that you found in your mind about the anxieties of love and love of self. The love of self is coming through, but what is it doing? It is birthing new things by the intuitive promptings that you've been provided. So you've been divinely guided to different loves of yourself by addressing your anxiety issues. You're organizing your thoughts across a new justice plane. It's like you got a new judge for your old case. And now this judge is calling justice for these old cases, and it's allowing you to feel strong, strength. This is like that young athlete that's just in their prime, that young, strong athlete. But again, emphasis on the young. It's like that young person who's just really good at everything. He's just really, really good. You know, that's the idea. She's just so good. Like, damn, nothing can stop her. She's so beautiful. It's just that it person. That is your energy. That's what you're becoming. Because you have a new judge, and this new judge is calling justice upon these old thoughts, these old stories. And it's because you've been organizing yourself according to a certain way of life, and you've allowed yourself to do certain things that you normally wouldn't have done in this setting, but you would have done in another setting, and you're seeing how appropriate it actually really was. You're calling justice on these thoughts that used to give you anxiety, and now you're giving yourself a brand new understanding. Damn, where did all this light and sun come from? Has this always been here? Somebody tell me. I don't know. I don't think so. That's crazy. Shining light on the world right now, baby. Literally. That's wild. People talk about orbs, nigga. The whole sun just came in here. All right. So yeah, y'all gotta work through it, I guess. This is what happens when you light. We got the Knight of Needles and we got the Eight of Presents. And you've been working hard on changing this mindset, of creating a mindset of love that knows how to take actions upon its intuitive notions. That is the love. And you've been trying this out with different people. But because the different people have been trying you out, but you know, again, as the Knight, you're more mature and you're putting it into practice. You know how to work with more varieties a little bit better. And this is what is allowing you to see more of your creative youth side. You can be more creative as an adult. A baker doesn't bake the same thing. They create different bake or pastries. So a bakery who makes donuts doesn't have one glazed donut only. They got an assortment. Because this creativity comes through the impromptus or the artistic side of you, this is allowing you to feel more expressionally free, which is allowing you to feel more love of self. And now one of these bottles of self-love can be poured into a new larger bottle called a pitcher of romantic love, a pitcher of career love, a pitcher of platonic love, familiar love, even pet love, interspecies. You can do all of these things. And you can even do things with inanimate objects, aka creation. I can make things. You can make, but you can also take away. And you can also neutralize. You can take something that's salty and make it sweet. You can do things to alter what has been gone, what has been done, and what will never change. So that means you must be the change. And that's what you already see. By you exploring these thoughts in a new, different way, by you allowing yourself to call justice, by you being a new type of judge on these thoughts, by you seeing them in action, seeing them in practice, you've created a newfound self respect, which is what you can share with your lover. And I think it's just for, exactly, it's for the simple fact that this person needs it right now. You are helping your lover so much, man, and like you don't even know you're helping them as much as you're helping them. I think I talked about that before, but look, it's not much, but you're still giving. These are little mice. That's a lot to a mouse, though. A lot to a small thing. So a person who just doesn't have the capacity to, let's say, love, but they got a capacity to work, or a person who doesn't have the capacity to work, but they'll take care of a home, those things are just small relative to the opposite person. Those things can cause tower moments because what I have, is it enough? What I have, is it appropriate? What I have, will this do the job? You're helping this person understand that it's not a done deal. It's a consistent thing. And the more that you can continue to try to love yourself and be comfortable with the choices that you're making, be comfortable with the changes that you're going through, be comfortable with the idea of giving yourself grace and space to make mistakes and hold these thoughts and feelings accountable, those are the time frames that you need to be focused on as you're going through these tower changes. But these changes are just you calling judgment. You got a new judge. You got a new judged eye. You have victory. You got the Six of Presents. You are balanced. You know how to be the correct judge, and you know how to give that assessment. Yeah, you wanted 1.5 pounds of chicken breast at the deli, but the cut came out to 167s. Okay, cool. I'll take the 1.67, even though I wanted 1.5. That's it. You know how to be the correct judge now. You're not gonna be focused on such a small detail that you're gonna allow you to destroy something that's wonderful. What? You just got more for just a slight increase in price? Let's do that. So by you deciding to give up something that you value a lot, but even if it's just a small amount of that value, that one small change can cause this tower to where you can start to see how you think about situations a little bit differently because of how somebody gives you their response. It's their response that they're offering. And people have tower moments based upon them receiving responses of their actions in ways where it was declined. This is the Four of Presents. Imagine the Four of Cups. Decline. I don't want that cup. The Four of Cups or the Four of Presents. What is that? The Four of Pentacles. Well, with the Four of Pentacles, you tend to be holding on to three. Well, really, you're holding on to one and you're stepping on two, and then you got another one, a fourth one on your mind. So it's like you're looking at the parts of you the parts that you want to share, the parts that you don't want to share, and then you're realizing that you can offer them all because you have a different point of view of the feelings of the emotions of the past. You're calling judgment on the feelings of the past to go along with those old thoughts, and that's leading you to 9 new jars of emotion. I don't know if these jars are full or not. And look, the sun is gone. I don't know if these jars are full. I don't know, but you do. And if you know what you got, then guess what? You can give what you want. You can give what you have. You can give what you desire. But guess what? It's up to you to decide through the darkness that you carry within your own self. Get familiar with your corridor. The space doesn't change unless you change the space. So the darkness shouldn't matter if you know your house. Yee yee. Oh, yay. Know your space. Know your space. Know your place. Know your heart. Know your mind. Know and rest on the things that you don't know. Rest on the things that you need to put on space. Again, the cool thing about resting on things, exactly. The cool thing about resting on things is it's still occupying a space and you can control the space. You don't need to always be there. For instance, dead people. Dead people are in your heart. That's a space, right? But they're in the graveyard too. So part of carrying a just sorry, but if I had to carry around a dead body in order to, feel that I would have to carry a lot of dead bodies around, all my ancestors. I wouldn't be able to move. I would be so heavy with all the physical matter, even if these are corpse, uh, all of that physical matter would weigh me down. So again, physically, they're one space, but then emotionally, they're with me. I know where I put them. I know my space. So I can rest on the idea of not feeling grateful, not having respect, not being able to pay my due diligence and dues. No, they're already all in me. Just because we put the physical body here doesn't mean the energetic body is there. It's inside of me. It's inside of all of us. It's what is shared. And the energy that you emit, the energy that you nurture, the energy that you cultivate, those are the things that keep those people alive. And this is the idea of resting on those things that are negative, just period. Because at the end of the day, your negative thoughts about yourself and your situation energetically places people in hell. If you got a version of somebody in hell, guess what? All of them can't reach their full potential. So you're holding on to people because you want to judge them or you want to, judge them, you want to talk shit about them, you want to gossip about them, you want to gawk over them, you want to obsess over them, you want to love on them, you want to desire them, whether it's good or whether it's bad. It's the action of occupying energetic space, attention. So, again, even if you're in the energetic world, you can put certain energies into the graveyard, man, and you can rest on those things and you can change, you can go towards a new direction. You can go down, you can go up, or you can change and do something brand new called diagonal. You can transverse all of these things and still head towards a higher trajectory. I'm in control of my space. I can avoid this corner, that turn, and this corner. Ooh, then I spin out the way and I don't hit the couch, and now I'm at the refrigerator eating midnight snack. I'm creeping through the house, creeping through the graveyard, the darkness. But I know my space, so guess what? I'm never getting caught. Mom never got me caught me in the pantry getting my fruit snacks. She only saw when the fruit snacks was gone in half the time. Like we all got that kind of thing. There's a whole song about it. Who put the hand in the cookie jar? Mr. Renew put his hand in the cookie jar. Who, me? Yes, you. Couldn't be. Then who? Oh, shoot. So yeah, that joyful, youthful kind of energy is what allows your. That is what is allowed to come out when you rest on the old dealings, the old aspects of you, the old traumas of your childhood. Then you can just enjoy joy from childhood. That's it. Because again, you're not focused, you're resting on those things that are already gone. You're resting on those things that are already dead. But now you're shifting it to an energetic state. And all you're doing is just creating a graveyard to put those energetic people in. That's all. It's, the physical will mimic the non physical. As above, so below. In your mind, as in your heart. Your life is being lived, so that's your heart. It's inside and out. But what you're thinking about is what's changing that. Oh, I'm so scared of a graveyard. I love graveyards. I'm designing them. I'm just here to pay my dues. Eh, Lots of three different reasons for this one space. Know your space. Because once you know your space, you know why you in that place and you can rest on the other reasons. Why would I be scared? I'm here to love and show gratitude to my family. Why would I hit a graveyard? I make money off of them. Look at this huge plot of land of respect for people. These are things that people do. But you do things and then you stop. You don't have a problem with putting to rest certain things. But you got to do the same thing energetically so you can leave more space for new responsibilities. All your responsibilities come together into one. In this one relationship, it has different things to where we don't need to use a lot of energy. We can burn dimly and still carry a lot of light. All right. What's our final message? Three needles, four needles. This makes so much sense. So the other day I was talking about how we needed to, we healed our heart. Our heart is healed, but we still have these needles that was piercing through us. That is it. This four of needles, okay, it has those same three needles in here. But because you took the thought and you caused, and you took a thought and you thought about these things in a new way. You thought about these heartbreaks, these three needles in a new way. And because you took this ace of needles and you transverse them all, you now built different relationships. And so now, instead of them just being needles piercing, you can rearrange them like chess or like a checkerboard, like a quilt. And because you're reorganizing and randomizing these spaces to have different values, those puncture wounds, you put in different value on them. Now you can come in with different thoughts, which will lead you to thinking about your emotions in a new way. So whenever you're doing things that you just are getting over and you don't really have that like full capacity to let go of, at least you know in your heart, at least you know in your mind that you've made the change because you've created the space in both of those places. So the energies that are first come, first serve will serve you in that space that you need that first person help from. This is how you show yourself love. This is how you show yourself more self love. It's individualizing the self. And this is how you show your lover the love of self too, for loving the relationship as its own self as well. The cauldron. So please make sure that when you're loving others, that you are giving yourself a brand new space. Think about a new space to where you can connect with others. Again, this is coming from the idea of being emotional about working with certain people, and I don't want to do it. Makes me want to quit, but then I realize that I have power. I can put up boundaries. I don't need to be nice. I can say what the fuck I need to say. My intentions are good. My thoughts are good. Here's my efforts. Here's my try. Here's all of my evidence of why I'm saying this. And now it's time for you to get your shit together. Gotta have that faith and that love enough to where you can be honest. You gotta You can't be afraid to break somebody's heart because you're actually providing somebody a new way to think about heartbreak. I'm not breaking your heart. I'm not being mean. Stop making it something that it's not. Listen to what I'm saying to you. If they have the space, if they're working on creating that space, they wouldn't care about any of those things called presentation. They wouldn't care because you know how to create more spaces to filter through. And not all energy is going to pass through this filter. It's the whole point of filtering things. And when people have no filter, that's great. Take it in raw and you do the manufacturing, which is the idea of you receiving information, you being triggered or not. If you take that point of view of this diagonal, because that's all that is, that transversal, that's that diagonal, that is you having no filter, it's all just coming out. But because you can put a filter on yourself, it all doesn't have to come in. So when you're talking with your lover, when you're talking about loving on yourself, when you're talking about loving on your community, your job, your family, your people, your car, when you're talking about sharing this love, you got to be able to receive all of them. And you don't have to receive it all at the same time. Put a fucking line at the door. First come, first serve. So the people who really want it, the energy that really wants to come through, that's just going to come through. And you'll hear what they're saying if you allow for the space. This is like an instrument. If I have a woodwind, like a saxophone, and I blow through that saxophone, it's just going to make a noise. But if I start to push keys, and I start to block off airways, and I start to change how often I do that, then you get different sounds. We call them notes. Change. But it's the same thing. It's just me blowing into the instrument. So, receiving all people the same way will require other people to receive all of you. They're going to have to change the filter. They're going to have to put it on themselves. So you must always put the filter on yourself. Take the things that has the potential to harm your heart. Have the confidence that your heart can heal. Your heart ain't no punk. Your heart is tough. You got the capacity to continue to love. So keep on loving yourself by bringing a new thought to help you chill and perceive on those old emotions. It'll help you see them pass you by. And once you see them pass you by, you can see them into the right physical space or home. It's over though. So make sure they reach their cemetery. Put the energetic cemetery to work. I think I need to get one more. And that energetic cemetery is where you'll temper that energy. It's the cauldron, not the person behind the scene. There it is. Exactly. So you're going to stop being the pincushion to all of the raw thoughts of people, and you're going to not intellectualize them. You're not going to apply them to yourself. You're going to deflect them. You're going to think about the things that you want to think about. You're going to think about the ones that matter to you. You're not going to just be available for anybody to put a pin in you, anybody for you to be the cushion for other people's flaws in their thoughts. You're not going to be that fucking punching bag. I don't have a punching bag, I have a pin cushion. You're not going to be that punching bag for people though. Not their thoughts, not their energies, for nothing. Because you're not that physically. You don't even allow that shit physically. But energetically, maybe you need to put a boundary up. Intellectually, maybe you need a boundary. Emotionally, you need a boundary. And the boundary doesn't come from putting up a single boundary saying no. I'm only looking at this, I'm only looking at that. The boundary comes from putting in spaces within you. You gotta let it flow. So if I can restrict the flow, AKA that puts up a boundary. Only those who want to get here will get here. First come, first serve. Only got 20 seats. People who want it gonna call the fuck in. 100 people want it. Who want it most? Who will be lucky? Who will get that chance? Guess what? I don't give a fuck. That's the energy you're taking. I don't care. I care about the boundaries that I'm enacting to make sure that I don't care. So I can continue to care about the things that I love. I can continue to care about the things that I want to focus on. I can continue to care about the things that I'm tempering. I can continue to care about the hearts that's being healed. I can continue to care about me thinking about what broke my heart in a new way. I can continue to care about creating a cushion for my damn self. Thinking about me. I'm thinking about the people I help. I'm thinking about the people I love. And all of that comes down to how I feel about how I heal. How do I feel about the things I've healed about? Can I talk to you about them to where you can heal yourself? Am I inspiring this relationship? Am I putting love into this relationship? Am I growing us as I grow me? As I grow you. 3 different points of views. But it's all love. So I'm going to think about all of these things in a different way. I'm going to do a 180. So, yeah, go love on yourself, man. And go love on the people you may want to love or may not. And be okay with how you share that love. And be okay with the love that you share. All right, accept it all raw and filter it out on the inside. Peace.